Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Black Facts. I know it's a little later in the day, but thank you guys for your patience and thank you for bearing with me. Today, we're going to be talking about the story of George Stinney Jr. George Stinney was the youngest person to ever be put to death in the U.S. On March 23, 1944, two white girls, Betty June Binnicker, age 11, and Mary Emma Thames, 7, went missing in Alcalá, South Carolina. Their bodies were found the next morning in a watery ditch. Both had suffered blunt force trauma to their skulls, allegedly from a railroad spike. The police quickly arrested George Stinney Jr., a 14-year-old black boy, after hearing that he and his sister had seen the girls earlier that day. With no physical evidence or witnesses, authorities claimed that George had confessed after hours of interrogations without a lawyer, parent, or even a written confession. Many believe this confession was forced. April 24th, 1944, George's trial lasted just 2 hours, and he was assigned a white court-appointed attorney. The attorney called no witnesses, presented no evidence, and didn't cross-examine the witnesses. He had no effort to defend him. The jury, being all white, took just 10 minutes to convict him of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to death by electrocution, the youngest person executed in the U.S. in the 20th century. After his arrest, his entire family was forced to flee their home in South Carolina out of fear for their safety. His parents and siblings were threatened with lynching by white residents, and within days of conviction, they had to leave the town permanently. On June 16, 1944, 83 days after his arrest, he was executed. On June 16, 1944, 83 days after his arrest, he was executed. He was so small that he had to sit on possibly a Bible or a phone book to fit the straps. He died at 7:30 p.m. after two 2,400-volt shocks. Researchers found that a white man with a violent history may have been responsible, but he was never investigated. Victims' injuries suggested they were killed by someone much stronger than a 90-pound 14-year-old. The wounds were consistent with a larger, stronger attack. The family lived with that same grief, shame, and trauma for decades, knowing that George was innocent but unable to get justice. For 70 years, they fought to clear his name. His surviving siblings worked with lawyers, activists, and historians to uncover the truth. His sister, Amy Ruffner, testified in 2014 saying George was with her at home that day of the murders. Their efforts led to this exoneration in 2014, but the state of Columbia never compensated the family or formally apologized. We must continue to share his story. Thank you guys again for watching another episode of Black Facts. Remember, stay black, stay unified.